everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a very controversial figure in Hollywood right now who is Jussie Smollett. It's going to be his career, the controversy, and of course we're going to get into his net worth. So here's a detailed look at the rise, fall, and potential comeback of one of Hollywood's most controversial figures, from child actor to empire star to headline-making scandal. This is the story of ambition, talent, and the high cost of controversy. Alright guys, now let's get into it. So here's his early life and career beginnings. You probably didn't know this about Jussie Smollett, but in 1982 he was born in Santa Rosa, California, to a family that would nurture his artistic talents from an early age. So I wouldn't call him a nepo baby per se, but his whole family is definitely in the entertainment industry, and he is among a lot of talented people, which we're going to get into in just a moment. So he wasn't doing this all on his own. In 1991, he began modeling and acting in commercials in New York City, showing natural talent in front of the camera. And in 1992, he got his first major film role in Mighty Ducks, setting the stage for his early success. Then in 1994 to 1995, he starred in On Our Own with his real-life siblings, showcasing the family's collective talent. And this really solidified him and all of his siblings. So we're going to talk a little bit more about them and how this family was born to perform. All right, so Jussie was born June 21st, 1982 in Santa Rosa, as I mentioned, and he entered the world as part of what would become this creative family. He's one of 6 siblings, including acclaimed actress Jussie Smollett, and Jussie was immersed in a household where artistic expression was both encouraged and celebrated. His natural charisma and undeniable presence were evident from an early age, leading to his parents to nurture these gifts introduced to him by performing arts. So by the time he was just a child, he was already booking modeling jobs and auditions in the competitive New York City market. So here is him amongst his creative siblings. All right, now let's talk about some of these early acting roles that he got. He started off in Mighty Ducks in 92, a Disney classic. At just 10 years old, Jussie scored a supporting role in this beloved sports comedy, playing Terry Hall alongside Emilio Estevez. The film's success gave him early visibility in Hollywood. Then we're into 1994, where he's in North, where he worked with director Rob Reiner in this comedy drama, adding another notable credit to his growing resume and working alongside major stars such as Elijah Wood. And then we were into On Our Own, 1994 to 1995, where he starred with his real life siblings in the ABC Family sitcom about orphan children. So, though this show was really short lived, it demonstrated the Smollett family's collective talent. After these early successes, Jussie took a significant hiatus from mainstream acting before making a strategic comeback in 2012. And this break allowed him to develop personally and creatively away from the pressures of child stardom. All right, so here's his transition from child actor to breakthrough actor. So Jussie's journey from the Mighty Ducks to his career-defining role on Empire spans decades of persistence, growth, and determination in an industry known for forgetting young talent. So here is his breakthrough. Jussie Smollett's casting in the Fox musical drama Empire in 2015 catapulted him into a new echelon of fame, critical acclaim, and financial success. So his role was Jamal Lyon, a groundbreaking role. In 2015, Jussie Smollett stepped into the shoes of Jamal Lyon on Fox's groundbreaking drama Empire, a role that would transform his career and make television history. As the middle son of music mogul Lucius Lyon, who was played by Terrence Howard, Jamal represented a character rarely seen on network television, who is a talented, sensitive, and openly gay Black musician fighting for acceptance in the hip-hop industry. The character's struggle for his father's approval while staying true to his authentic self resonated deeply with his audiences. Jamal's journey mirrored real-world conversations about homophobia in the music industry and the Black community. And as you're going to see, this is going to play into the controversy that unfolds before him. So this is a quote from Jussie. He says, "Playing Jamal Lyon is more than just acting. It's representing a voice that hasn't been heard enough in television." All right, so here is Empire's impact on his career. This was a major financial breakthrough for Jussie. So, we're going to get into a little bit more about his income and his net worth. But at the height of Empire's popularity, Smollett commanded $100,000 to $125,000 per episode, a significant leap from his previous earnings. This translated to approximately $1.8 to $2.2 million per 18 episode season. And just so you guys know, an episode takes about a week to film in Hollywood, so he's making about 100K per week while the show is in season. Critical acclaim is next. So he didn't just get money out of Empire, he got multiple Image Award nominations and wins from the NAACP, cementing his status as a rising star in Hollywood and making him a household name. And then finally, his industry connection. So he didn't just get critical acclaim and financial breakthrough, but he got well connected, working alongside industry powerhouses such as Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard. This elevated his professional network and opened doors to new opportunities beyond television. The show's massive success, drawing up to 17 million views per episode in its prime, provided Smollett with unprecedented visibility and transformed him from a working actor to a television star with significant cultural influence. All right, now let's get into the part that you probably came for, which is the 2019 hate crime incident and fallout. In January 2019, everything changed for Jussie. What began as a shocking hate crime report quickly evolved into one of the most controversial celebrity scandals in recent memory, forever altering the trajectory of Smollett's career and finances. Here's how the alleged attack went. So on January 29th, 2019, news broke that Jussie Smollett had been the victim of a brutal hate crime in downtown Chicago. According to Smollett's initial report to police, he was attacked around 2 a.m. while walking home from a Subway restaurant. That's right, the sandwiches place at 2 a.m. That's when he said two masked men approached him, shouting racial and homophobic slurs. The attackers poured what Smollett described as bleach on him, then they placed a rope fashioned as a neck around his noose, and the assailants allegedly yelled, "This is MAGA country," referencing the then President Trump's campaign slogan. The reported attack immediately drew nationwide attention and outrage, with celebrities, politicians, and activists rallying behind Smollett. The incident was initially investigated as a hate crime, reflecting the serious nature of the allegations. And it's important to note here that Smollett alleged that the attackers were white men. So, this alleged attack occurred in the Streeterville neighborhood of Chicago during extreme cold weather conditions, like an actual blizzard with temperatures below freezing. So, here's how the investigation and charges got laid out. Initially, there was an investigation. Chicago police assigned significant resources to the case, reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance footage and interviewing potential witnesses. The investigation soon took an unexpected turn. Key suspects were identified. Investigators identified two brothers, Amibola and Olabinjo Osundario, as persons of interest, and both had worked as extras on Empire, and one of them had served as Smollett's personal trainer, and all of this was very suspicious. And needless to say here, the two brothers were Black Nigerian men, whereas Jussie Smollett originally claimed that the suspects would have been white men. So then the case reversal. After questioning the brothers, police announced a stunning development, which is that they believe Smollett had paid the men $3,500 to stage the attack. Authorities allege the actor was dissatisfied with his Empire salary and sought publicity. Now, this is crazy, not just because who would pay the men to attack who would pay men to attack him, but the fact that he was allegedly dissatisfied with his Empire salary after we just said he was making over 100K per episode. I mean, that's just all really crazy. Then there were criminal charges filed. On February 20th, 2019, Smollett was charged with disorderly conduct for filing a false police report, a Class 4 felony in Illinois, carrying potential penalties of up to 3 years in prison. That's when Jussie's legal battles had begun. So, what followed was a complex and controversial legal saga that would span for years. Starting in March 2019, all 16 initial charges against Smollett were unexpectedly dropped by Cook County State Attorney Kim Foxx office after Smollett agreed to community service and forfeiture of his $10,000 bond. But then, in February of 2020, a special prosecutor investigation led a new grand jury indictment on 6 counts of disorderly conduct. And in December 2021, after a high profile trial, Smollett was convicted on 5 of 6 felony counts. Then in March 2022, Judge James Lynn sentenced Smollett to 150 days in Cook County Jail, 30 months of felony probation, $120,000 in restitution to the city of Chicago, and a $25,000 fine. Smollett spent just 6 days in jail before being released pending appeal, maintaining his innocence throughout the proceedings. So he went from victim to defendant, and this is the turning point. The rapid transformation of Smollett's status from sympathetic victim to alleged perpetrator shocked the entertainment industry and the public alike, creating a media firestorm that overshadowed his previous accomplishments. Now, let's get into how this impacted his career and his finances. The controversy had immediate and devastating consequences for Smollett's career prospects and financial stability, illustrating how quickly public scandal can erode years of professional growth in the entertainment industry. First, the Empire exit. Fox immediately removed Smollett from the final 2 episodes of Empire Season 5 to avoid further disruption on set. Despite initial support from the cast members, Smollett was ultimately written out of the series entirely for its final season. Then, more lost opportunities. Pending projects and potential roles disappeared overnight. Industry sources reported Smollett was removed from consideration for Broadway's Take Me Out and several film productions that had shown interest. And finally, a limited return. Determined to continue his career, Smollett made his directorial debut with B-Boy Blues in 2021, adapting James Earl Hardy's novel, but he later starred in the indie film The Lost Holiday, making a modest return to acting. The swift isolation from mainstream entertainment demonstrated the industry's risk aversion when faced with controversy, particularly involving legal charges and questions of truthfulness. In summary, a lot of people didn't want to get anywhere near this guy because of the potential blowback. So, here is how his net worth actually declined as a result of this controversy. Jussie Smollett's financial trajectory tells a story of a dramatic rise and fall. From his breakthrough on Empire in 2015, his net worth climbed steadily, peaking at an estimated $2 million in 2018. So this guy pretty much had it all. But the controversy in early 2019 triggered a steep decline, with industry exclusion, legal fees, and financial penalties contributing to the erosion of his wealth to approximately $300,000 by 2024. Here are some other financial consequences broken down for you. Beyond the immediate loss of his Empire salary, which was obviously his primary income source at the time, Smollett faced significant penalties financially and ongoing costs related to the case. He had a lot of legal fees, which are estimated to exceed $500,000 for his defense team across multiple court proceedings. Then there were the court ordered payments themselves, a $25,000 fine and $120,000 restitution to the city of Chicago for the cost of the police investigation that they claim he incurred with his false testimony. Then there's the settlement, which later negotiated down to a $50,000 donation to the Chicago Law Project, a nonprofit providing legal services to underserved communities. And of course, all his lost endorsements, which included several pending brand partnerships that dissolved following the controversy. So essentially, his financial fallout was from $2 million to approximately $300,000. From commanding 6-figure episode fees to struggling for industry acceptance, Smollett's financial journey illustrates how quickly controversy can erase years of career building in entertainment. Now for the legal resolution and public perception. After years of legal battles and public scrutiny, Smollett's case took an unexpected turn that altered his legal status but still left complicated questions about his public image and career prospects. So, an Illinois Supreme Court reversal. Here's a quote from the Illinois Supreme Court ruling. The indictment violated the prohibition against double jeopardy because the March 2019 agreement was functionally a punishment for the same offense. In a stunning development, in November 2024, the Illinois Supreme Court overturned Smollett's conviction on technical legal grounds, bringing the years long saga to an unexpected conclusion. The court ruled that the special prosecutor should have never been appointed after the initial charges were dropped, that Smollett's agreement to perform community service and forfeit his bond constituted as a legal resolution of the case. The second prosecution violated constitutional protections against double jeopardy, which is that you can't be tried for the same crime twice, and the conviction must be vacated and Smollett could not be retried on the same charges. So while this represented a clear legal victory for Smollett, the court explicitly noted that the ruling was based on procedural grounds. It did not address the factual merits of the case. So here is public and industry reaction to all of this. First, there's the media response. News outlets covered the legal victory, but often with caveats about the technical nature about the ruling. Commentary remained divided, with some viewing it as a vindication and others as a procedural technicality that didn't address underlying questions, like did he do it or didn't he? Then there's the social media landscape. Social media platforms reflected a deeply polarized response as well, with hashtags both supporting and criticizing Smollett's trending after the ruling. The case continues to evoke strong opinions across the political spectrum. Then there's industry hesitancy. Despite the legal victory, Hollywood executives remained cautious. Industry insiders reported that major studios and networks still considered Smollett a high risk casting choice, regardless of the technical resolution of his case. The public's verdict, often more consequential than the legal rulings for entertainment careers, remains mixed, with significant segments of the audience unwilling to fully embrace Smollett's return to mainstream projects. So here are Smollett's own words, because I'm not here trying to convince you if he's guilty or if he's innocent. We're just trying to present all the facts from all the different angles. So here is Smollett's own words on the topic. Throughout the controversy and its aftermath, Smollett has steadfastly maintained his innocence and offered his perspective on the events that transformed his life and career. He says, I am innocent. I could have said I was guilty a long time ago and given up my truth for the narrative that was being created, but I didn't do what they accused me of. In his first post conviction interview, Smollett expressed frustration with how his story had been portrayed. He claimed evidence in his favor was dismissed or minimized. He suggested political and radical motivations behind the prosecution, and he emphasized his focus on moving forward creatively despite the setbacks. He has consistently emphasized his desire to be judged on his work rather than the controversy, stating, I just want to create art that speaks to people. Now for his current endeavors and future outlook. Despite the significant obstacles that Smollett faces, he has refused to retreat from public life or abandon his creative pursuits, instead, focusing on rebuilding his career and reputation through carefully selected projects. Here are some of his recent projects. In 2024, The Lost Holiday. Smollett took on dual roles as director and lead actor in this independent drama about a man reconnecting with his estranged family during a holiday gathering. The film received limited theatrical release and modest reviews. Then, Breakout single in 2025. Released under Rowdy Records in August, this comeback single marked Smollett's return to music with lyrics that subtly referenced his personal struggles. The track received modest streaming numbers. Finally, Special Forces 2025. He joined the cast of this physically demanding reality competition show, which places celebrities in military training scenarios. The appearance represented his first major television opportunity since Empire. Now for advocacy and activism. So, despite the personal and professional challenges he faced, Smollett has maintained his commitment to social causes, particularly those affecting the LGBTQ plus community, and racial justice initiatives. Continued support for the Black AIDS Institute, serving as an ambassador to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS in Black communities. He's donated $50,000 to Chicago's Urban Arts Fund, supporting arts education for underprivileged youth as part of his legal settlement. He participated in virtual fundraisers for LGBTQ plus youth homeless shelters during the pandemic, and he's mentored young artists from disadvantaged backgrounds through his media production company. These efforts represent Smollett's attempt to refocus public attention on causes he championed before the controversy while rebuilding his personal narrative through positive community impact. Through his advocacy work, he has maintained these connections with community organizations, even though his mainstream entertainment opportunities have diminished. And these relationships provide both purpose and potential pathways back to broader acceptance. Giving back and moving forward. For Smollett, philanthropy represents both personal values and a strategic path to rebuilding his public image. By focusing on underserved communities, particularly LGBTQ plus youth and arts education, he connects his current work with the values he championed before the controversy erupted in the first place. So here is the summary of everything that I've covered today, which is a complex journey. First, he had this early promise from child actor to teen performer. He showed early talent that suggested a promising career trajectory in entertainment. Then there's his drastic career ascent with his breakthrough role on Empire, which catapulted him into fame, with a rising net worth reaching approximately $2 million and growing industry influence. And then, of course, the controversy, the 2019 alleged hate crime and subsequent legal battles, which devastated his professional standing and financial stability. Then there's the legal resolution. Technical legal victory in 2024 when his conviction was overturned by the Illinois Supreme Court though public opinion remained divided. And finally, his rebuilding efforts. His current focus on directing independent projects and advocacy work as he attempts to reclaim his career and repair his public image. Jussie Smollett's story represents a cautionary tale about how quickly fortunes can change in the entertainment industry, while also highlighting the resilience and determination required to attempt a comeback after a major controversy like this one. So that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and found it entertaining and interesting, and hopefully you guys can learn something from the rise and fall of the career of Jussie Smollett. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We tried not to sway you guys in one way or the other and let you form your own opinion based on the information that was provided. If you want more information, there's a documentary on Netflix out right now which kind of goes through the whole thing and again allows you to make your own decision based on the different perspectives that they have. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.